Now, many countries have a somewhat ambivalent attitude to their offshore islands, and not just those which cite their most forbidding prisons on them. The island mentality is a subject routinely discussed in Chile. Not surprising when you consider that off this country's long, skinny coastline, there are more than 5,000 islands, some just barren rocks, others accommodating thriving and self-sufficient communities. The Chiloe archipelago is one of the most distinctive of these island groups, and work's now going ahead on a construction which promises to tie it more closely to the rest of the country. Lucy Daltroff, who was there recently, wonders if it might just be a bridge too far.
It's a grey day on Chiloe, but as the rain stops and the mist clears, a pair of black-necked swans elegantly glide past, not even giving a glance to the colourful houses on stilts, palafitos as they are called here, which come gradually into view as they swim by. "We don't mind the rain," says Benjamin, our guide. "We just get on with it, dress accordingly, and enjoy our surroundings." He's right, of course. Even Darwin alluded to the bad winter weather in this archipelago 2/3 of the way down Chile's long, rugged coastline in his journal, The Voyage of the Beagle. Nevertheless, he enjoyed the unique wildlife and the kindness of the locals, and it was while exploring Chiloe that Darwin witnessed a rare volcanic eruption which increased his understanding of geology. This helped with his later important work on the formation of volcanic atolls and coral reefs. Today, the 30 islands make up a fiercely independent community with its own distinct identity. The older generation still has faith in the magical legends and stories that have been passed down here for many years. There's one about a ghost ship called Chiloe, carrying the souls of wrecked sailors. And then there's Trauco, a repulsive gnome who can kill with just a look, but is irresistible to young virgins. The Jesuits first brought Catholicism to these islands in the 17th century, and I can't help wondering if their religious strictures meant that these fantasies became a great way to shift the blame for unmarried pregnant girls or drunken young men. The many churches here also result from the missionaries' visits. Previously, local building skills had been used mainly in making fishing vessels, so the 160 colourful wood basilicas scattered predominantly along the coastline were constructed with the framework of an upside-down boat. 16 of them have now achieved UNESCO World Heritage status. Later, houses were made of the local wood, with distinctive stucco patterns which are completely different from colonial architecture in the rest of Chile. The capital, Castro, dates from 1576 and is full of character, despite some destruction from an earthquake in 1960 that completely destroyed the port. In the bustling Yomble market, any fluent Spanish speaker would detect a distinct Chilote dialect with marked differences in vocabulary, accent and pronunciation. Unlike in other parts of South America, goods are traded in an orderly, controlled way. Gleaming varieties of shellfish tumble over bulging stalls. Fishing is still one of the main occupations. Nearby, the fruit and vegetable stands with their giant garlic cloves are dominated by potatoes. Over 200 local varieties grow here, ranging in colour from mauve to yellow. They are still sold in almuds, 5-kilo bundles, an old unit of measurement left over from the Spanish invasion and no longer used in any other part of the continent. But now change is in the air, and not everyone is convinced that it will be a good thing. The government has decided to build a bridge to the mainland, which would be the largest in South America. 2 years ago, LAN Airways inaugurated 4 regional flights a week into the tiny airport near Castro, but the main access to the rest of Chile is still by the romantic 30-minute ferry that leaves from nearby Pagua, southeast of Puerto Montt. The new plans would turn the trip into a boring 3-minute car ride. "There's a big division here," explains Andres Bravari, architect and general manager of a new hotel. "We've been told the bridge would let us get to better healthcare on the mainland, and the general consensus is yes, we do need that. But instead, let's just put a small proportion of that budget into building a modern hospital here. The truth is, we weren't really consulted." The health risks were highlighted last year by the case of 35-year-old Miriam Masala Santana. She was 25 weeks pregnant and suffering from a brain hemorrhage. The small local hospital couldn't treat her adequately, so the decision was made to seek out better medical care. Sadly, the 3-hour journey to a mainland hospital was just too long for her to survive. Apart from the health benefits, supporters also expect the bridge to boost tourism and increase investment and business opportunities on the island. worry about habitat degradation, land and marine pollution, and an end to their uniqueness as a community. A new shopping mall in the historical centre of Castro has not had a great reception. Repeated legal disputes have meant it hasn't even opened its doors yet. The bridge could run into problems too, especially if the pessimistic predictions about its effect on the ecosystem turn out to be true.
Coming across that repulsive and murderous gnome won't help either. And with that from Lucy Daltroff in Chile, we've reached the end of another edition. There'll be more